Hey guys, so I am back with another update for my Magma Barrier Infernalist, and we are now currently at level 89, and we have made quite a few changes to our character to make it a lot stronger and a lot tankier than before. We are currently at 308 strength, 73 dexterity, 154 intelligence. In terms of our life, we do have a lot of it reserved, so unreserved life is 849. We have 4.9k energy shield, 1.2k mana, 235 spirit, 60% armor now. Evasion doesn't matter. Block really doesn't matter either. And we have max res on everything except for chaos res. We've been working on our chaos res, and that's part of the reason why we've made some of our changes. And that's really where I'd say we're taking the majority of the damage right now. So as soon as we get this chaos resistance up, this build will become even tankier than ever. Right now, as you can see, we have a lot of reserved life, and that's because we have taken all three of these branches for Witch to go low life. And yes, last video I did say that it was fixed or changed or whatever, but it was just because I had a setting in my UI interface thing that made it so it doesn't show it like that, and it actually is still registering our character as low life when we do our ascendancy branches like this way, so we can go pain attunement. So since then, we have made quite a few changes to our character, as I mentioned, right? First off, let's go with the tree, and we're going to pull up Path of Building because Path of Building is out right now, and I wanted to let you guys know that. And I have updated the max roll guide with all the changes and also added the Path of Building in there. It's not like a super detailed Path of Building, guys. I'm not like really used to like making builds, so forgive me if I'm not the best at using Path of Building. You'll have to forgive me for that. I'll learn over time and get better at it. But right now, our character changed quite a bit because we have gone down to Giant's Blood because we are now using a two-handed mace to get that increase our levels for melee skills. We have changed some stuff with our kind of like weapon swap trees to min-max more nodes. But in general, I'd say that really what we've done mainly are three things, right? So first off, or maybe four things. First off, of course, we changed our ascendancy stuff to go into these three branches and gotten paid attunement. But also, we added mind over matter. So mind over matter makes it so that we take damage from our mana before we take it from our life. And this is really important because we are low life, and using our mana as a resource for HP is really, really nice. It helps us a lot with survivability, adds basically an effective, 1,200 life right there for us. And the other thing is that for our character right now, because we are going mind over matter, it really sucks when our character goes to 0 mana, because we use Resonating Shield as our offensive ability and also as our defensive ability because this blocks for us, right? And when we get 0 mana, we can no longer do that, and we can no longer reflect, we can no longer block, and that's really bad. So I went and added and changed up some of the gems on my Resonating Shield to have now life tap, to make sure that when we are using our Resonating Shield, it's taking from our life as opposed to our mana, because that way we can always use Resonating Shield no matter what, pretty much. And we can sustain using like cannibalism and like if you have any regen on your gear. And also I do have some life on kill jewels as well, or 1 jewel with it. So that's kind of what we changed for our survivability to make us a lot tankier, because it gives us a lot more health. And it lets us sustain off of that pretty much just gives us free health, right? On top of that, we also made a lot of, optimizations to our tree in terms of our crit rate, because I looked at the crit rate on our tree and we were definitely over critting. We were way over critting what we needed to be at. So I brought it down and got rid of these nodes, for example, right? Mainly. So we got 2 extra points back from there. And there's some more stuff that I'm going to be doing in the future to optimize the tree even more as, we get more money and more gear. So that's kind of like another thing. We also got rid of these nodes right here because it just didn't feel very, like originally I was trying to get Covering Ward, which is why I opted to get points in this, but it really didn't feel like covering ward was doing much for us, so I opted to just add more things into energy shield, right? Get more nodes into energy shield, get some nodes into this thing to increase our defenses on our shield, which we did change our shield to an energy shield armor hybrid. So that way, when we get 100% more defense to our shield, we get more armor on top of getting more ES. So it's a very, very nice way to increase our survivability. Now, in terms of damage, right, we did lose some damage because we dropped our armor by like 400, 500, but that's overall fine because as you scale Magma Barrier to higher and higher levels, the actual damage that your shield gives you becomes a smaller portion of what the overall damage you get from the gem. So it doesn't, like, that shield armor doesn't scale like super well comparatively. We can actually take a look at that right now. Let's go look for Magma Barrier, right? As you can see, it doesn't change much. Like, you know, it takes a couple levels for this value to actually change, and it doesn't change by all that much, right? It's just like 1 or 2, like basically 1 point of damage per 15 armor on your shield for every couple of levels. So it really doesn't scale all that well. So I figured, hey, you know, with that, we really don't need to care about the shield that we have. We just need to get defenses and survivability on it as much as we can. So that's why we're doing this. And, you know, eventually we might even try, as I mentioned before, experimenting with different types of shields, maybe unique shields, to see what we can do with it, right? I also changed my helmet off of a series Disdain. Now, this will still give you a ton of energy shield, right? But I felt like I was really lacking chaos resistance, and I was trying to find ways to slot in more chaos resistance, which we still haven't even maxed out yet. And the helmet was really holding us back in terms of like resists. So I went and swapped my helmet to this. Obviously, we lost a bunch of energy shield because of that, but I also think that the fact that damage bypassing energy shield was happening, it kind of was making us a little bit less survivable in general as well, even though it was going directly to our mana first instead of going to our health. I just felt like it was a crutch that I didn't want to deal with anymore, so we took this off. Feel free to not do that or do that, because, like, again, I just felt like chaos damage was just such a big problem, especially because we have this too. Physical damage is taken as chaos damage, like 20% of it. So it just felt like really appropriate that we start bolstering up our chaos resistance. Another thing that we did in terms of our gems is you might notice that we don't run Herald of Ash anymore. And instead, what I chose to do is now we run a Blasphemy setup with flammability. And if we can get more spirit to support this, I will eventually want to get, Heightened Curse right here, if we can, just to increase our damage. Because what I ended up finding out was that Herald of Ash, because we have Trample Toe, really at the end of the day, wasn't doing much. Like, Trample Toe would just kill things, and if, you know, Herald of Ash, the extra damage didn't really do much at the end of the day, because as we scaled our levels, right, our gem levels, we're obviously doing more overkill damage, and as a result, the things around us were just dying. And Herald of Ash was basically having no effect on our clear at all. So I just took off Herald of Ash and put on Blasphemy at the end of the day. I tried experimenting with quite a few things in place of Blasphemy. Like Scavenging Armor 100% doesn't work because we pretty much don't break armor, because we just kill stuff before we slam our Resonating Shield, and Resonating Shield takes like 2 or 3 hits to even break all armor, especially now that we have taken off the thing that makes it so that we don't break as much armor anymore. So really, that was not worth anything. I tried using Berserk, and because we are low life now, Berserk scales off of our maximum life and not our current life or reserved life, so we were just getting decimated. Originally, when I was doing that, I thought chaos damage was killing us, but it was really our Berserk that was killing us. So obviously, we didn't use that. So at the end of the day, I just mustered enough reserved, what is it called, spirit. We mustered enough spirit to be able to run a Blasphemy setup to increase our damage. Now, if you're having some struggles with survivability, maybe you might even want to socket in like an Enfeeble in here instead of flammability, because at the end of the day, we really just do a lot of damage. Like, we don't really need that much more damage. Oh yeah, also another thing, since we now have Giant's Blood, we are using a two-handed mace. Our two-handed mace is pretty nice. It was luckily donated by a lovely viewer. Normally this would have cost me like 1 div, and I'm a poor boy. So this was very nice of a donation. But it has level 7 to all melee skills, right? So we're doing a lot more damage with that. But also has 30% reduced attribute requirements. And also on top of that, I made it so that 20% of the requirements for this, hammer are converted to intelligence. So that is how we're able to use Giant's Blood with this weapon with the amount of strength that we have. I would still like to see if there's any way for me to get more strength on my other gear, but it's really tough because stat takes up a slot for resists, right? So the resists that we have right now, I feel like I'm already really tied up for resist because melee skills also takes up a slot for resist, and we also need stats. So I'm running a breach ring, which mine doesn't have much resist. Overall, it's just like resists have been a problem, and as a result, we haven't been able to get the necessary strength on our gear. So that's why we currently have right now this socketed into our weapon. If you didn't have this, if you have no problem with this with your stat, go ahead and socket it with another increase to elemental damage with attacks, because that does scale our damage. And that's why also this hammer has 138% increased elemental damage with attacks, because that will scale our damage as well. And I think in terms of updates right now, that kind of is about it. Like now we're able, and we have tried to do and have been successful in one-shotting Trial Master. We one-shotted Zesht. Like this build is continuing to scale and continuing to do better. So, next time I come back to you with another video, hopefully we'll have even more things fleshed out. And one of my goals right now is to get money to buy a From Darkness jewel that will allow us to allocate things near Heartstopper, because that will allow us to take all 4 of these without coming down here at all, which right now, right, if we look at it, we are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to get this and this, right? And if we can get that, we can use a jewel slot to save up, I think, 5 points, right? Because this was 11. And then if we just want to take this and not worry about this, then we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are saving 5 points on our tree by getting that 1 jewel. So that will help us out a ton. And I could probably just get rid of like this one right here, right? Recover life on kill, mana on kill. Like that's really not that necessary. And then, eventually when we get a 5 link on our Magma barrier, we can get the support that recovers 4% of the damage that you deal or something like that, or 4% of something in mana to help us with our mana upkeep, because we are using this as our life pool, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do to continue to optimize this build and optimize this character. And again, 5 points is a lot. So I'm hoping to get that. It's not super expensive. It's like 2 divine or something like that. I'm just a poor boy right now and have basically only, 1 divine, maybe? I don't even know what the exchange rate is now. I think it is 1 divine at this point. But we did find an audience in our ritual, and we've deferred that. So we are going to be getting that and selling that for money so we can get more upgrades to our character. So more upgrades coming soon. More optimizations to this build coming soon. I'm pretty dang happy with what's going on right now with our build, because it is feeling tankier and stronger than ever. As per usual, I updated the max roll. POB is also included that max roll, and I will be updating that as we go, and I'll probably make another update video when this build gets to, I guess, the next kind of like break point where I feel like I should be updating the video. So for now, that's the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, and want to keep up with this build, remember to hit the sub button. Best way to support the channel. And also, I stream on Twitch every single night, twitch.tv/MeSoXhiro, starting at 10 p.m. PST. So I'd love to see you guys there. But if not, hopefully I see you all in the next video, and I'm going to include another map that I'm doing, maybe a T15 map. Maybe we even include the Zesht kill if I didn't include it earlier in the video. But yeah, hopefully I see you guys on the next video. All right, guys. Peace. Like, that's probably the reason why we're dying so much. It is because we're just in these areas that have, like, mobs that just all do chaos damage. And it shouldn't be a thing, but like our gear isn't at a point where we could like, you know, just like roll through those maps and not care about it. We just need to get ourselves out of this area, I think. This area is cursed. Too much chaos damage mobs. We're at 10%. I know. You're only using right click and one shot elites, basically. Yep. My right click activates the magma barrier, which is what we're using the one shot release. The right click itself isn't doing damage. Do you have a lot of area increase in this build? I do. Basically, almost every jewel I have has some form of area increase. There are a couple that don't, but it's honestly because I just haven't gotten around to upgrading them yet to get more area. Because without area, this ability does not clear very well. What's TNF? It's TNF are just from my cosmetic outfit. They don't do anything. It's really annoying because you can't take them off the bar. You take them off and then they put themselves back on the bar, and I'm really annoyed by that because it's just cosmetic. It really doesn't do anything. Just like sometimes you accidentally press it and then it does like an animation like that, right? And you get fucked up by it. So I mean, honestly, I should probably just put something like, you know, I don't know, fucking active block on it or something like that, right? Let's do that. That's probably better. So I don't accidentally press those buttons. Where's this last one? Oh, there it is. Of course, it would do a lot for mapping. It could, because you do a lot of you do fire damage, right? And it explodes a lot of mobs. But the thing is, like, Courseplay only works if, like, you know, the enemies are like basically like I kind of kill everything in front of me, right? So, like, the explosions won't really make a difference because the mob's already dead. Like, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. Courseplay will also, like, not running the boots that I'm running right now will hurt my clear as well. So, in the long term, I don't think it's really, like, making any difference. Either that or it's actually even hurting the clear. I'll be honest, they buffed the strong boxes, but I still don't think it's enough. I still don't think it's enough. I still think they need to buff it a little bit more. I still don't really want to do them. They still kind of take a while.
I need more time.
Which way is the breach? Which way is the breach? This way. That's the nice thing about this build, though. It actually does breach decently well. Ah! That's the problem having shield charge on my fucking mouse button. Sometimes I actually press it when I'm trying to click stuff, and my MMO ass aim is not picking shit up well. The draws, they never draw anything useful. Essence is much better. Like the currency pinatas. I mean, I just think at the end of the day, they just need to bring back old strong boxes. Like, I don't know why they can't just do that. I don't understand why they can't just bring back old strong boxes. And back with PoE 1. Like, what was wrong with them? Were they too fast for the PoE 1, PoE 2 pace? Like, it's basically the same as essences. Essences are instant. Like, why can't breaches be instant or strongbox be instant? Makes no fucking sense. Why do they have to be in waves? Just drop them all on us at once.
Not yet.
Off to bed. All right, sounds good, man. Sleep well. Thanks for hanging. Honestly, I should have been going to bed a long time ago. I should have been going to bed a long time ago, boys. Why is my like this? Why has Path of Exile ruined my sleep schedule completely? You gonna do something on Citadel yet? No. We just went to the Citadel and died. Because, we, kind of fucked up. Come on, bro. Come on, brother. Please. Trying to create a build that's not working. What type of build are you trying to make? Yeah, I mean, the only reason I'm still awake is I have the league mentality right now. You know, when you're playing league and then you lose, and then you want to win like 2 games to make up for that 1 loss type of situation. That's kind of like the mentality that I have right now. And it's really bad. Please. Yo, Toei, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Can't sleep until we win, basically. And it's not even just like win. We gotta win 2. We gotta win multiple. Ooh, that's an audience. That's an audience right there. Ooh, that's big. That's big, boys. Item mandatory? It does, sort of. That's a ticket to bed? No, that's a ticket to